Lengthening, like you said, like just that,
I know.
we do that well on the mat. So.
And some bridging.
Yeah, lots of bridging. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love some bridging. Okay, let's go ahead, stand up. Also, do you guys have a yoga block with you? If you do, I
do.
feel like
Yeah, I have one.
because I feel like I might throw it in the mix.
I've got one.
Along with your ring, or yeah, if you have a ring.
I have a block and a ball, actually.
Can I use a ball? Can I use a ball?
Okay. You could use a ball.
Okay.
Just something a little smaller that we'll find some activation with. Okay, so feet underneath your pelvis. Just shake everything out for a minute. Let everything go, loosen everything up. And then ground down through your feet. Lengthen up through your spine. Feel all four corners of your foot pressing down, reaching the top of your head up to the sky. Take a nice big inhale up. And exhale it out. Big inhale up. Exhale, soften the knees and start to slowly roll forward. Bringing your fingertips as close to the floor as feels available for you this morning. You just take your moment there. You just let everything kind of shake out. You can bend and straighten the knees. Let the head hang. And then from there, let's begin our slow walk forward to the plank. Finding your plank position and then walking the hands back to your toes. Walk out to your plank. Finding that plank position so the toe base away from the ears. Draw the abs up and in, and then walk back to your toes. One more time like that. We're going to walk out and walk back in. After we find our plank, we walk back in. And then roll your spine up to stand. We're coming into squats. Feet are a little bit wider than the pelvis, just a touch. Hinging at the hip, bringing the hips back. Come up and squeeze the glutes. Feels really weird actually doing the squat on the reformer. And I could just be on the floor. Hinging at the hips, come up and squeeze the glutes. Reaching the arms forward. When the arms come forward, think about sliding your shoulder blades away from your ears. So we're already starting to set up our Pilates posture. Not into our neck. 2 more like that. Hinge at the hips. So you push your bum back for the hover. The next one comes down for your hover and hold. And little pulses. Lengthening out of your fingertips. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hands down to the mat. Step back into your plank. Holding here. So the shoulder blades down, the belly in. And then let's lift the sit bones high to the sky for your downward dog. And pedal the knees out here. So taking it at whatever pace feels good for you this morning, since our bodies are just waking up. And then pressing those heels back, rolling back forward into your plank, holding your plank, draw the abs in, float the right leg up.
You. Alexa, turn on basement lights.
Oh wait, someone's got to go on mute. And lower that leg down. Another one leg up and little lifts. Side the shoulder blades down. Thank you. And then bring that foot down back into your downward dog. Take a breath there. Inhale and exhale, side the shoulder blades away from the ears, bend the knees a little bit, lift the sit bones a little higher to the sky, pressing your heels back, rolling back forward into your plank. Taking a moment here, lengthen through the heels to the crown of the head. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears. One more breath there, back into the downward dog. This time, let's take the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, and let the weight of the leg pull your right oblique and hip open. So we're not worrying about how in yoga we would try to be squared and balanced. This, I really want the leg to stretch you out to your side. And then we'll square the hips, stepping that right foot through to the hands, and then extend the right hand up to the sky. And let's get a little opening here. A little lightness in your left hand, and reach the right fingertips up a little bit higher. Hug the thighs towards each other. Bringing out the spine, and then we'll bring that hand back down to the mat, step back into your plank, hang out in your plank for a moment. So let the heels go back, lengthen through the crown of the head. Draw the abs in and lift your sit bones high for a downward dog. Take the left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, and let the weight of the leg pull you open in that left oblique and hip. Breathe. And we'll square the hips, step the left foot through to the hands, and reach the left hand up to the sky. Lightening in your right hand and let the left fingertips reach a little bit higher. So the shoulder blade away from the ear, hug the thighs slightly towards each other. And then bring the hand back down to the mat, step back to your plank and meet on the forearms, bending the elbows, come onto your forearms. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears, draw the abs up and in. Lengthen through the heels, micro bend the right knee and straighten. Micro bend the left knee and straighten. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten. So take it a little faster, we're just gonna alternate knee bend without letting the hips move. Pull those abs up and in for 5, 4, shift your weight a little bit forward. And last one, knees hit down to the mat and then press back, child's pose, take a breath. The knees can be open wide as you reach your fingertips forward and let your forehead just melt to the mat. And just take a breath there. Actively stretching here. Reach the fingertips a little further forward and let your butt be a little heavier. One more breath like that. And then you're going to slide yourself out onto your belly, lowering all the way down to the mat. Fold the forearms together and glue the forehead to the forearms. And just take a moment there. Just let everything go. Shake your pelvis out. Letting go of any tension in the sacrum and low back. I know that's where mine is definitely likes to stay. So see, can you let go of some energy there? And start to connect your pubic bone down into the mat, connecting your hip points down into the mat. And then feel your belly magnetize into your spine. Feel your ribs start to knit together. We're going to float the right leg up and lower it down. Shoulders relaxed. Left leg up and lower it down. Alternating sides. So it's a small leg lift, activating the glute. So don't think it has to go so high that you're getting into your low back. The movement does not have to be big. I want you to feel your bum activate. So the glute is firing to float the leg up. One more single leg, which you can stay with the single leg, but if it feels good, we're going to draw those abs in and float both thighs up and lower. Lift both thighs and lower. Now it's about keeping your spine long. So the legs don't have to go high. The higher they go, you might come into your low back. I want your upper body to be completely relaxed. Let's lift this up and hold it. Circle the legs away from each other. They stir apart. Draw the abs in, relax the shoulders apart. Squeeze. Can you really think about just your booty doing the work? Also pulling those abs up and in, relax your shoulders, reverse your circle. Circling it back around. So think about the thighs stirring up and around, creating a circle inside of the hip socket. One more, and we'll lower the legs down and shake the pelvis out. Let your booty just rock side to side. Let's bend the knees, glue the heels, and bring the heels back towards the bum. The knees are as wide as the pelvis. If they're too tight, you might feel some tension in your low back. So we're going to let the upper body relax, squeeze the heels, and then float the thighs up off the mat, keeping your pelvis connected down, and lower the thighs to almost touch and lift them right back up. And press up, squeeze. So the heels are coming back in the direction of your bum, but the heels are squeezing together. The knees are open as wide as the pelvis. Your abs are drawing up and in. We're firing up those glutes because the glutes have to help support the core. 5 more like that for 5. 4, of course, we'll hold the last one up. 3, relax the shoulders. Hold this next one up, hold it, lift the thighs a touch higher, now pulses up, little pulse. Little tiny lifts, feeling that in the top of the glutes. Draw the belly in and find right where that glute and the hamstring is meeting for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Let the legs relax all the way out, shake it out. Take your right hand, reach back, grab your right foot, and just take a little moment in this quad hip stretch. And breathe. Pushing the foot into the hand. Let's take 2 more breaths there. as I'm in this position, I'm reminded I probably should be doing this every day. And we'll release that other side. And just stretch. And connect that hip point down and stretch in, push the foot into the hand. Maybe the thigh lifts a slight bit off the mat. 2 breaths. And we'll release that. Extend the arms out to the front, legs are long. With the shoulders slide into your back pockets. First, connect the hip points and the pubic bone down into the mat. And then notice where your rib cage is. Sometimes if your ribs are not connected in, you're going to be a little bit more of an arched position. Draw the belly into the spine and float both arms and legs up if that feels available, and then start to swim, alternating kicks. You also could be fully rested on the mat, lifting opposite arm, opposite leg if this feels like it's not happening for you this morning. So think about length. Squeeze the glutes. Now we're protecting that low back by the glutes have already been activated. Draw the belly in for 5, 4, long neck, 3, 2, and last one. Refold the arms, let everything relax down, and then gently press back to your child's pose. And take a breath there in your child's pose. Keep letting your bum be heavy, fingertips reach a little further forward. And we'll walk the hands over to the right, taking a stretch through the left side body. Keep stretching. I have to open my window. Let's take 2 more breaths there. Finding a little more space between the ribs on that left side. And when you're ready, walking your hands back to center and over to the left side, stretching out the right side body. So we want to keep all that length. We don't want to feel compressed. We want to be lengthened even as we're working our abdominal muscles. We want to keep length. So I want you to find a little stretch here so you can remember that length. 1 more breath there. Walking it back to center. Fingertips reach a little bit further forward, and then use your abs to roll yourself up onto your hands and knees. So sort out yourself so your knees are directly underneath your pelvis and hands underneath your shoulder, rounding into your cat stretch, dropping your head, drop your tail, pushing your spine to the sky by pulling your belly in, and then head up, tail up for your cow. And into your cat, magnetizing your belly up to your spine and into your cow. 1 more time, or taking any movement you need to shake that pelvis out if that's what it's called for this morning. Into your cow, shining the heart forward. And let's meet back in our neutral spine, letting our abs just completely relax, and then magnetize our belly into our spine. 1 more time, the abs completely relax, and then pull your belly button up, and as you feel what that is to get the transverse abdominis activated, extending right arm, left leg at the same time. Relaxing your right foot and bring it back to center. Left arm, right leg. Squeeze the glute and bring it back to center. Continuing opposite arm, opposite leg at your own pace. How still can you keep your pelvis as you move through this? Is your glute firing to let your leg lengthen? We've already fired it up this morning, so it should be ready to work to help in the stabilization process. Let's do 1 more each way. As the arm is extending, remember you're sliding your shoulder blade away from your ear, and we'll meet back with right arm, left leg, and hold it, opening the arm and leg away from the body and returning it back to center. Open away from the body and return to center. 1 more like that. Open away, return to center around your spine, and kneel, and the elbow connect into your belly and extend. Pull in, extend. 1 more like that. Drawing the knee and the elbow to touch, extend and hold, and bring it back to center. Into your cat stretch, into your cow, back into neutral, extending left arm, right leg, extend and hold. Open the arm and leg away from the body and bring it back to center. Open the arm and leg away from the body and bring it to center. Draw the abs in. Open away, bring it to center around your spine, the knee and the elbow touch under your belly, and extend. Easy on that left foot, not letting the foot do all the work to balance you. Let's turn the abs on 1 more time. extend and hold, and bring it back to center into your cat and into your cow and back into neutral. Let's come sit on your bum and we'll grab the ring. But we might be grabbing that yoga block soon, so just have it close to you, or a ball, whatever it is, or it could be nothing. It's just to find some activation. I think when we come into our bridge, we might use it. Slide the shoulder blades down. Let's take the ring or whatever you have out. So if you don't have a ring, it's fine. Energy out through the fingertips, and just imagine you have something you're squeezing here. Lift a little bit taller out of your pelvis. That might mean a little bend in the knees. Just squeeze and feel the back muscles underneath the shoulder blades starting to find some activation underneath your armpits, and release and squeeze. Can you grow taller in your spine? Lift out of your pelvic floor and release. So while there's not a lot of other movement happening, we can find that lift out of our pelvic floor. We can find our lats and our mid to lower traps activating. Our abs are turning on to help us sit up taller. 2 more like that. And let's squeeze and hold it, and little tiny pulses in, pulse in. So your elbows are rounded. There's a slight bend. Your wrists are just below the elbows for 5, long neck. And last one, hold that tension and tuck your pelvis and roll halfway back. Sliding your tailbone underneath you, drawing your abs in any amount that feels available for your body, and then coming up to sit. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Squeeze the ring, scoop and roll back. So with that squeeze of the ring, can you find that squeeze of your pelvic floor, tightening your low belly and coming up to sit? We're going to hang out in that halfway back position here, rolling back, holding it there, draw the abs in, and now we do those squeezes in, squeeze. So you got a little arm work happening here as well, but think about that coming from your back muscles, that mid back underneath the shoulder blades for 5, long neck. And last one, tuck your pelvis and go back a little further and a little further, pulling your puke bone towards your face as you slowly press your spine down into the mat, all the way down. Hands are up over your shoulders. Give the ring a squeeze, draw the belly in, firm the back of the thighs down, and lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Come up, squeeze, peering through the ring, and roll your head back down. Squeeze the ring, inhale, exhale. A few more like that. Folding forward from the rib cage, waking up those upper abs. You're in your neutral spine. You have that little bit of low back curve here just because we're only lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. Come up here. Now come up a little bit higher. You press your low back into the mat. Come up a little bit higher. Press your low back into the mat. Come up to your halfway point. Holding here. Draw the abs in. And then take it up and over to your toes. Take a quick reach forward. Sit up tall, the shoulder blades down. Abs are starting to feel like they're super important here. And roll back to your halfway point. Give the ring a squeeze. Slide the shoulder blades down, draw the belly in, and then we'll lengthen the arms above the head. Squeeze. And let it come back forward. So super controlled. This is not a fast movement. You don't even need the ring to do it. Just find that energy of lifting the arms, moving from your back. So not just from the shoulders, definitely not in your neck. We want to feel that mid back activation. Hold the arms above the head and little squeezes, squeeze. Lift out of your pelvic floor. So you need that Kegel here to help get deeper into your low belly for 5, long neck. And last one, dive over to the toes and take your stretch forward. You can hook it around your feet. So we're coming into our stretch. If you don't have a ring, you could use a band, a towel, anything to help give you a little support. Hook it around your right foot and roll all the way down. And let's just melt into our stretch for a moment. Actively stretching, so this isn't a break, but we want to get the muscles loosened up so the abs can work even harder. So we're going to ground through that left leg. Push your right sits bone a little bit forward and start to bend and straighten that right leg. Shoulders are relaxing. And then holding the leg straight, push your sits bone forward a little bit further and bring the leg back a little bit more. So your butt is heavy on the mat. We don't want to let your back pockets leave the mat. Pushing the right hip away a little bit further, even if you want to take your right thumb into your right hip crease and push the hip away from you as you bring your leg back a little further so the hamstring can get a little opening here. Not aggressively pulling on it, just letting it know it can stretch a little bit. It's supported. And breathe. Shoulders relax. Take 2 more breaths. And on your next breath, we'll release that, hugging it to your toes. And pull the toes down towards your shin, heel to the sky. And breathe into your calf. So you want your leg in a position where your hamstring isn't still thinking it's all about it. You want to let your calf be stretched. So maybe that means your leg goes a little bit lower. Or you can flex. So working on ankle mobility along with deepening the calf stretch. Hold the toes down, heel up. And then bring it back to the center of the foot, spiraling the leg out to the side for your inner thigh stretch. Keep pushing your left hip down, lengthening out of the right inner thigh, shoulders relax. And breathe. Let's take 2 more breaths into that inner thigh. So not letting it just fall out, but actively stretching it. On your next exhale, let's lengthen that leg up to the sky. And let the right back pocket stay down as the leg comes just a little bit across the side of the body. Pushing your right hip away. Shoulders are relaxed. Breathing into the side of the leg. Can you straighten that leg out a little bit further, letting it come just a touch more across the body. 2 more breaths. And then when you exhale, we'll melt into your spinal twist, letting the leg fall any amount across the body, but keeping both shoulders connected down to the mat. And we'll extend the right leg long back out onto the mat, feeling so much longer and looser. So let's roll your spine up and catch onto your left foot. So we can make your left side just as long as your right now. And we'll just ease into that hamstring stretch. And breathe here. Start to think about that left hip pushing forward. Maybe the left thumb comes into the left hip crease to get you a little more stretch there. And we're going to bend and straighten that leg. Each breath is going to help get you a little more length in your hamstring and telling your hamstring it's safe to let go a little bit. And then let's hold that leg and just start to breathe into bringing it back a little bit further. Shoulders are relaxed. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Let's take one more, taking it into your deepest hamstring stretch. And we'll slowly release that, bringing it to the tip of the toes, coming into your calf stretch. Start to pull the toes down and heel up. And point and flex. And holding the toes down, heel up to the sky. Shoulders are melting. Let that calf get a little more length. And we'll come back to the center of the foot, spiraling the leg open and out to the side for your inner thigh stretch. Actively stretching that inner thigh, pressing your right hip down and finding that length through the inside of the left thigh. Shoulders are relaxed. Breathe. And take a couple breaths here. Each breath is going to help let it go a little bit further. And then on your next exhale, we'll sweep it up to the sky. Finding that length to bring the leg up to the sky, anchoring the back pocket down with the leg come a little bit across the body and stretch the side of the hip. Can you push your left sits bone away from you? Keep that left back pocket down and stretching through the side of the leg. Shoulders relax. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, we'll melt into that spinal twist. You can let your stretching helper go to the side. Keep the shoulders to the mat as the leg goes any amount across the body. And extend that leg back out to straight. Enjoying that length in the body. And we'll bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. And just take a couple times to arch and imprint the spine. And then settle your pelvis into neutral, allowing your sacrum to really anchor you down into the mat. Hip bones are in line with your pubic bones, so your low belly can balance a cup of water there. Keeping that little bit of low back curve. And then just take your thumbs on the back of the ribs, fingertips on the front of the ribs, and pull your back ribs away from your pelvis. So you're not going to have as much arch in your low back, but you're going to keep whatever the natural curve is of your spine. Arms release alongside your body and bring your right leg into tabletop. Knee over your hip, ankle in line with your knee, draw your belly in, float your left leg up to meet it. So the knees hover over your pelvis, ankles in line with the knees, your belly's drawing in, and your abs are already working so much just to maintain your legs here. Tap the right toes to the front edge of the mat without letting your spine move and lift. Left toes dip forward and lift. Shoulders relax. So anytime the shoulders are starting to find tension, don't take your leg as far. Take your leg only to the amount where your shoulders aren't starting to feel like they have to help out. Maybe that's flipping your palms to the sky to open the collarbone a little wider. Maybe it's a little bend of the elbow. Whatever is going to allow your upper body to just release here and your low abs and center to really find your stabilization. If it feels good, take a little bit of speed with it. You can go switch and switch. If not, keep where you find your stability, because it's not about the exercise as much as we're adding a movement to make sure your core is staying stable, because that's what we're doing all day long in life as we walk around. We're moving our arms and legs as our core is stabilizing our spine. 2 more like that, whatever way is feeling most effective for you. And when you're done, bring the legs to the table and hug the knees into the chest. And stretch your low back and bring the legs to the table. Let's actually bring your feet down for a moment and grab your yoga block, ball, anything you have. If you don't have anything, you could even roll up a towel. You could use a pillow. So don't feel like you have to have the block. You could also use nothing. Bring the legs back to tabletop. We're going to take the block onto the right thigh, right hand, right thigh. It could be, my block is extra thin, so it might be enough if your block is flat on your thigh. Anywhere where you feel like you can make a good connection with the thigh and the hand. So turn it whatever way is adjusted for your body. And we're going to just find that tension of the thigh and the hand pushing together. Reach your right hand up to the sky. So your fingertips are over your shoulders. Push the right side together as your left side moves away from your body without losing neutral, and bring it to center. Moving the arm and leg away from the body and bring it to center. So your right side is working. It's creating tension into the block. And then the left side is moving away. You feel that oblique. Are you staying in neutral? 2 more like that. Let's return with the arm and leg away from the body. So the left arm, left leg move away. And then just little pulses into the block of the thigh and the hand. Little press it in for 5, 3, 2, last one. Bring everything back to center. Hug it in. Reset. Bring the feet down. Bring the left leg to table. Left hand into the block. Start to just find some tension there. Pull the belly in, bring the right leg to the table, reach the right hand to the sky. Keep the tension on the left side as the right arm and leg move away from the body and bring it to center. Being aware that you're not shifting your pelvis, you're staying in neutral. You're keeping your hips even on both sides. So that both sides of the body are doing something different, but they're staying stable and even. For 4, breathe. Pull your belly in. Last one, hold the arm and leg long. Left side pulses into the block, pulse in. Pull your belly in, squeeze your pelvic floor. Arm and leg are pulling into the block for 4, 3, 2. Last one, bring it back to center. Hug everything in. Bring the feet down to the mat, placing the block thin way into the thighs. If that doesn't feel like that's enough, you could flip it the other way. My block is thin, so it's kind of not the exact size, but we'll make it work. Starting with the feet grounding down, arms relaxed by the body, spine is in neutral. Squeeze as hard as you can into whatever you have in your thighs. So it could be the ball, it could be a pillow, it's whatever you have. I'm just gonna say block, squeeze and release. Pelvis is still, squeeze the inner thighs. So whatever you have is as deep into your pelvis as you can get it, as close to your pubic bone as you can. Squeeze and release, because that's getting those inner thighs fired up. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and hold a little bit tighter. Hold a little bit tighter. Is your spine in neutral? Dip your belly button into your spine and pulses in. Pulse in. Sometimes it's a little easier to get into it because the ring sometimes feels very aggressive, but the block, you can really feel that inner thigh pressing in for 5, 4, 3, 2. Give a little release. And again, squeeze. Can your glutes just relax for the moment? Let the inner thigh squeeze in. Tiny movement. Pull your belly into your spine. Lift out of your pelvic floor for 4, 3, 2. Last one, release. One more time, and then we're going to add our bridge. Squeeze into the block. Your feet are grounding down. Pulse in. Shoulders relax. Lift out of your pelvic floor. Soften the ribs for 5. Holding it in, tuck your pelvis and roll your hips into your bridge. So you can also remove the block at this point, or you keep it in there, feel the inner thighs fired up, sequentially rolling it down. Inhale, exhale, peeling all the way up and all the way down. 3 more like that, rolling all the way up, shoulders relax, and all the way down. 2. Wide through the collarbone, lift the hips all the way down. Let's roll all the way up and hold the lift. And we're just focusing on squeezes. Squeeze in. As those hips lift a little bit higher, fire up the booty, squeeze, wrap the ribs together. The eyes are to the sky, long neck for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, rolling all the way down. And release the glutes down. Take the block out for a moment. Widen the feet, hips, or the thighs rock in and out. So knees rock into center, windshield wipering the legs. And we'll return back to center and bring the legs one at a time to tabletop, placing the block back into your inner thighs. If you hate the block, put it down. You can have your inner thighs all the way squeezing together. Flex the feet, relax the shoulders. Your spine is in neutral. Your belly's drawing in, squeeze the block in. Every squeeze, can you think about narrowing your waistline in a little bit deeper? Like there's an elastic all the way around your waist and it's pulling in, like saran wrap. You're tightening and tightening, pulling it a little bit tighter. Pull the belly in, squeeze and hold, and then let your heels dip just a little bit forward. They don't have to go very far, and then drag the legs up. And I want it to stay small to start. Keeping the pelvis still, let your heels control, dip down just a little bit, hold, re-squeeze the block as you float the thighs back up. Dip the heels a little bit forward. Maybe they go a little bit further. Squeeze and then lift. But the key is your torso staying still? Is your spine staying in neutral with that little bit of space underneath your low back? Are your front ribs connecting towards each other and in towards the center? Are the shoulders relaxed? 3 more like this. Squeeze as you lift. 2. Re-squeeze as you lift. 1 more, any amount out that feels good for your body. And lift. Lift the hands an inch up off the mat. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. And little squeezes the block here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. You're going to place your feet down to the mat. Draw the belly and lift the ribcage a little bit higher. Lengthen the arms up to the sky. And then peel yourself all the way up. Squeeze the block. Peel all the way up. Woo! That did not feel so fun. But you got it. You got it. You got it. You're all the way up. We're going to take it into our hands. Slide the shoulder blades down. Scoop back. Rolling back halfway. And come up to sit. Roll back halfway. And come up to sit. Roll back halfway and hold. Twisting the torso over to the right. And bring it back to center. Twist over to the left. Let the shoulders relax. And bring it back to center. Twisting to the right. And back to center. Twist so the pelvis is still. Now, if you feel good there, lift the feet an inch up off the mat. Hold the belly in. Lift out of your pelvic floor. And now twist, move the legs over to the left and bring it to center. Twist to the left, move your legs over to the right. So they're moving in opposite directions. If not, just stay with your feet on the ground and just twist your torso. We're going to do 1 more like that. Twist and center and twist and center and feet down, sit up tall. Place the block down. And let's come into rolling like a ball. Glue the heels, fingertip touch to the ankles. Let's lift the heels up. Pull the heels towards your torso. Tuck your chin 3 times. We roll to our shoulder blades. Come up and balance. We're going to roll to the shoulder blades. Come up and balance without letting the feet touch. 1 more time. Come up and balance and hold. Legs to table. Release the hands. Lift out of your pelvis. Roll the shoulder blades down. We're going to roll down to your shoulder blades, touch the mat, and stay there. Press your spine into the mat, all the way down, shoulder blades. Stay lifted, extend your left leg long. Draw the belly in. Right knee is over the hip, ankle in line with the knee, and then we switch sides for a single leg stretch. We go switch and switch. So taking it slow to start, you could also have your head on the mat and legs closer to the sky. So where does it feel like your transverse abdominis is getting the most work? So we're wrapping the belly button in towards the spine, wrapping the abs towards each other, narrowing out your waistline for 3. Breathe, smooth and controlled. Last one each way, bringing it back to center, hug the knees in, relax the head down, place the feet on the mat, arms by your side, feet are hip width apart. Tuck your pelvis and roll your hips up into your bridge. Holding your bridge high here, wide through your collarbone. You remember how that felt to have the block in your thighs. It's imaginary there. Tap your butt down to the mat, press up and squeeze. Tap down, press up and squeeze. So as you lift, feel like you're opening through your pelvis. Feel supported in your low back because you're firing up your glutes. We don't want to feel any tension in the low spine, in the low back muscles. Hug the block, imaginary block in. Collarbone is wide. Let's continue to lift those hips up higher and higher. Hold them up. Push them up a little bit more, firing up the booty and little tiny pulses of your hips up. Hug the thighs slightly together. Press your big toe mound down. Press your pinky toe down. Energetically, your heels reach towards your bum for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, sequentially pressing your spine all the way down into the mat and bring your right knee into tabletop. Left leg up to meet it. Hands to the sky. Inhale, exhale, float head, neck, and shoulders up, reaching towards your ankles. Inhale, extend the arms and legs long. Circle, bring the arms and legs back to center. You have a line between your chin and your chest that you're just gently holding, not squeezing, just gently there. So you got that little tuck at the chin. Exhale as you circle it around. You also could do this with the head on the mat, just keeping the head down. For 5. Pull the belly in. 3. Lifting from your upper abs to support the head, neck, and shoulders. Last one, lengthen and hold it long. Open the arms and legs out to the sides and bring it back in. Small open and close. It doesn't have to be huge. For 3. 2, soften the jaw. Last one, circle, bring it all the way back to center. Hug the knees in, and we'll place the feet down to the mat, arms by the sides, setting up for your next bridge, rolling your hips all the way up to the sky, pushing the knees forward, long neck, wide collarbone, reach your fingertips a little further forward towards your heels, and then lift your heels up, balancing on your toes, adjusting wherever you need to get those hips up high. Energetically, the thighs pull together, really firm your booty so you get that stabilization, and then to drop your tush down to the mat and lift back up. Booty down and lift. Tap down, press up, hold. Press into your big toe mound so your ankles aren't collapsing out. Heels are straight up. Lower and lift. You almost touch your butt to the mat and then it goes right back up. Almost down, press right back up. And then hold those hips up high. Lift a little bit higher, hug the thighs slightly together and tiny pulses up. Little lifts. Pushing your sits bones to the front. Collarbone open for 5. And hold it. Drop just the right heel and lift. Drop just the left heel and lift. So the heel almost touches the mat and it goes right back up. The pelvis does not move at all. Firing up the back of that leg even more, getting a little calf action in there too. Can your sits bones and calves feel as energetically they get closer, even though nothing is moving? Yes, gonna tighten up right at the base of your booty. Last one each way. Both heels lift, then sequentially press your spine down into the mat. Let your bum get heavy into neutral. Bring your right leg to table, left leg up to meet it. Reach those legs up to the sky, hands to the sky. Float head, neck, and shoulders up. Extend your left leg long. Grab gently behind your right thigh in a little double. Pull the legs, scissor the legs, pull, pull. So maybe the first one, you're like, yeah, I got a little hamstring stretch there. Now we want to focus on staying in neutral. The legs brush past each other. And it's really about the abs controlling the movement. If it feels good, maybe the fingertips reach towards the ankle if it's not turning into a hamstring stretch. Inhale, exhale on the scissor. Inhale when the leg is up. The legs brush past each other. Soft through the jaw. 2 more. Last one each way. Bring both legs back up. Hug the knees in. Place the feet down on the mat. Arms by the sides. Roll the hips up into your bridge. Push the hips up a little bit higher, long collarbone. Let the feet go as wide as the mat here. And then dig the heels down. Turn the toes up. Push the hips up to the sky. Feel like your sits bones could reach even closer towards your calves. Tap your butt down, press up and squeeze. Down, up and squeeze. So since the glutes get a little break in between, they can really shine when they are working. So they don't feel too exhausted. They feel like they got a little moment to breathe and now they can reactivate even deeper. Same for the abs. When we go back into the abdominal series, the abs have had a little moment, even though they're working here, it's different sensation. So the abs are absolutely working here to help stabilize your pelvis. Next one, stay all the way up. Pulse the hips to the sky, press up, up. Reach your sits bones a little more to the front to help get that pelvis in neutral. Long neck for 5. And last one, hold it up. Tap the knees to touch. Open the knees wide. Squeeze the knees together and open. So really thinking about those inner thighs, also getting that mobility in the pelvis. While the pelvis stays still for 3, breathe. And last one, feet down, walk the feet back to hip width apart, push the hips a little bit higher, sequentially imprinting your spine all the way down. So you can roll through the low back to have that little extra stretch there. Pelvis in neutral, fingertip touch behind the ears as we bring the right leg into table and the left leg up to meet it. Inhale, on your exhale, extend the legs to the sky, head, neck, and shoulders lifts. You can also keep your legs in tabletop for this movement. You can keep your legs in parallel or into turnout. Heels are together, let the legs lengthen away from the body, and then drag the legs back up. Soften the jaw, inhale to lengthen, hold the belly in, exhale to lift. Inhale to lengthen away from the body, firming up the thighs, exhale to lift. So think low belly is super controlled here as those legs move any amount away from the body. Maybe it's a tiny bit, and maybe they're in tabletop. They could also be just moving from here if it feels like it's going into your low back at all. For 3, elbows are wide wherever you're at. Soften your jaw. The head can be down. One more time. Lengthen and drag those legs back up to the sky. Bend the knees, extend the left leg long, twist to bring the left shoulder in the direction of the right knee, and rotate to center. And twist and center. Bottom rib to opposite hip. You come up and across the body. Keep the elbows wide. Think shoulder pulls across, not just the elbow. Exhale on the twist. And breathe. And breathe. 2 more each way, bringing out the obliques as you twist. Exhale, bring it all the way out. This is your last one. You return all the way to center. Hug it all the way in and place the feet back down to the mat. Arms relax alongside the body. Tuck your pelvis, roll your hips all the way up, and we'll bring the right leg into tabletop, extend the right leg up to the sky. Push the hips a little bit higher, right leg moves just an inch or 2 away from the body, and return to center. Away and back to center. Away and center. So you're moving the leg to challenge the stability. We'll keep it up to the sky and then pulse the hips up. Little lift, lift, collarbone open, lift. For 5. And last one, place that foot on the mat. Push your hips up high. Bring the left leg to the table. Extend the left leg up. Move the leg a little bit away from the body and bring it to center. Shoulders relax, away and in. Soften the ribs into the body, really pushing through that right heel. Last one, hold it to the sky, pulse up, up. Push the left sits bone to the front to keep the pelvis even. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, foot to the mat. Push the hips up a little bit higher and just little pulses to the sky. Press up just to even everything out. Push your sits bones forward for 5, 4, 3, 2. Sequentially imprinting your spine all the way down into the mat. And giving these a little hug here. And extend those legs long. Rolling over onto your left side. So just flip onto your left side. Stan, do you have to leave for tutoring? No, we're good. Okay. Send the legs out long. Then bring them a tiny inch forward. So micro bit forward. Your head can be supported on your hand or it could be all the way down, your choice. Top hand can be your kickstand to start. Lift the top leg, flex to the foot. Feel like someone pulled your heel away from your body. Sweep the leg forward and point and sweep it back. So the hand can be a kickstand to the front. It can also be on your hip as a reminder to stay very still. Feel your bottom waistline drawing up off of the mat. Pull the belly in, your hips are stacked, your pelvis is not moving. Bring this one back to center, hold. Point the toes, get a little bit longer, think longer through your top waistline, and tiny stirs here. Can you draw your belly in a little bit deeper? And reverse it. Holding here, spiral the thigh open, so we just externally rotated the leg. Extend the leg up to the sky. Flex as you resist and pull it down like you're pulling against a big rubber band as it lifts. It resists on both ways. Drag that rubber band up and then resist against the rubber band as you bring it down. Long leg. 2 more like that. One more full one. And then we'll continue with that leg up at the sky. Spiraling the thigh open if you need to, crank that leg open and stirs to the ceiling. And reverse. We're going to keep the leg up here. hold, flex the foot, pulling the toes towards the shin and let the leg fall forward to right in front of the hip and then sweep it back up to the sky. It's not going to fall forward and stay there. It's going to come in line with the pelvis and then drag it back up. Strong glutes. 3 more like that. 2. Think outer thigh and booty. Last one. Let's bring it back forward and hold it. Sweep it back to the bottom leg. Bend both knees. Heels are in line with your tailbone. Push the top hip away from you for clamshells. Open and close. Open, squeeze, and close. Wrap the ribs into the body. Think outer glute. Breathe. And then hold the knee up and tiny pulses up. Little tiny lifts. And then we add rotation, knee to knee, toe to ankle, knee to knee, and toe to ankle. Pull the belly in a little bit deeper. And then knee goes down, tiny pulses up, up, up. Push the hip away, and then lower that leg all the way down. And we're gonna extend the legs out, prop up onto your bottom forearm, top hand to your hip. Legs are long, bottom leg could be bent for support, or feet could be staggered one in front of the other. Otherwise, we're gonna press up into that side plank, reach the hand to the sky. Imagine there's a little handle up there, and that's gonna lift you a little bit higher. Hold, long neck for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, drop the hips. Let the head swivel to the other side. Gotta wrap up the other side. Same position you took from the start. Legs 1 inch forward, push the top hip away, lift the top leg, get long through the top leg as you sweep the leg forward and point and sweep it back. Flex to bring it forward and point and sweep. So abs are drawing in, bottom waistline is lifting up off of the mat. Sweep forward and reach back. Squeeze. The next one will meet back at center. As you complete this one, we meet at center. Hold long leg as you draw circles. Imagine someone has your toes and they're pulling your leg even longer away from your body, creating more length in the top waistline, and reverse. And hold, spiral the thigh open as we lift and flex and pull. Point and lift and flex and pull. Draw the belly in. We got one more. And then lift and hold, spiral the thigh open and draw circles. Inner thigh, and then reverse it. And we hold, flex the foot, it sweeps forward and straight up. And sweeps straight forward and straight up. Really reach out of your heel. On the next one, we'll hold it down and sweep it back to meet the bottom leg, bend the knees, clamshell, push the top hip away. Open the top knee and close. Keep the heels pushing together. Keep the pelvis very still. Opening any amount that allows the pelvis to stay still. 5 more. Keep the top hip away. Is your ribs wrapping in, or is your belly pulling in? And then let's hold it up and tiny pulses. Pulse. And let's add our rotation, knee to knee, toe to ankle, knee to knee, and toe to ankle. Pull belly in a little deeper. And then hold the knee down, little pulses up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, lower that leg down. Extend the legs out. We prop up into our side plank, which will turn into our front plank, which will turn into our downward dog. Sorry, we're totally running late today. And then we'll lift the hips up, reach the hand up to the sky, long neck, lift a little bit higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's come right to our front forearm plank. Have the shoulder blades away from the ears, draw the abs in, and come up onto our hands. hanging out there and our plank, feeling super strong and supported. And then into our downward dog and release. Just shake that. You can run the knees out, shake the head, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then when you're ready, slow walk of your toes towards your hands and hanging out in your forward fold. Soften the knees. Shake everything side to side. And then bring it back to center. Draw the abs in and slowly start to roll your spine up. Vertebra by vertebra by vertebra until the head is the last thing. The left shoulders roll away from the ears. And we'll take a nice big inhale up. And exhale one more time. Big inhale up. And exhale it out. And thank you, Pilates Hotties, for coming to class. Sorry, I was totally running a little bit late on that today.